SactownSports.com. Now, if you wanted to know how many different trade proposals the Bulls have floated around the league, it would be
Should that have
5.
been the number?
Yes. No, because Simone would have killed us because it would have been 5 plus 10. 15 trade proposals. The Chicago Bulls have floated 15 different, sounds like me in my spare time on Fanspo on the trade generator. The Chicago Bulls have floated 15 different trade proposals centered around Zach LaVine to the Sacramento Kings, Orlando Magic, and Philadelphia 76ers, per Casey Johnson of NBC Sports Chicago. Zach LaVine's future isn't the only trade scenario that has been discussed, even if sources said the Bulls have floated as many as 15 proposals centered on the two-time All-Star guard to various teams, including the Sacramento Kings, Orlando Magic, and Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers do not.
Insane.
The Sixers don't want Zach LaVine.
I don't think so.
No. They're talking about Paul George.
They got to feel the whole team.
Yes.
They have 2 people signed right now. They can't just take on $50 million.
Exactly.
Say, okay, cool.
So the Sixers, I don't think that that's a real thing. The Orlando Magic, they're connected to everyone.
Yeah, take the cap space, please. But actually, go to Orlando.
Yes, that would be perfect.
That'd be great.
Because I don't know, if you get Zach LaVine, you still getting Malik Monk?
No, I hope not.
I don't think you would.
I hope not. I definitely don't. I definitely hope not. And maybe you can get Zach LaVine and Klay Thompson. You know, just again, eat up all your money. Don't leave any for Malik. That's great. I hope. I now have a new hope. It's Orlando number 1, and then Kings get Caruso and LaVine number 2 for me. Absolutely insane. But to me, this also points out just how down bad this Chicago Bulls negotiation is. Like, they have to, it was almost an understatement to say that the Bulls are willing to sweeten the pot for a LaVine trade.
Right.
If you have thrown out there's 30 teams. There's 30 teams in the NBA. Okay. I don't think it says 15 teams, but you've pretty much exhausted just about every avenue possible if you've thrown out 15 different proposals actually to the teams.
So it means these teams have come back and said no. You've been told no
sounds like,
15 times by as many as 3 different teams. But my question
get the hint.
But my question is this, and this is why I would hold out hope if you are the Bulls. My guess is that those 15 proposals did not have Caruso. That's my guess. Yeah. Now they're going to cook this thing back. This was probably with Patrick Williams or whoever else. Hey, how about LaVine?
Or it was Caruso, but then it's like, we want a first-round pick on top of that. And it's like, well, no. You're throwing in Caruso
that's
because
no longer
you're
the
one who's, And that's the part that I think Chicago's just not getting. It's not sinking in that you're not if you throw in Caruso, that does not the balancing act isn't working there. They're thinking, okay, LaVine's down here, Caruso's all the way up here. If we throw in Caruso, it's actually outweighing how bad LaVine's contract is, and we still need to be receiving things on top of it. Yeah. And it feels like everybody's trying to scream at them, no. Caruso is to even get us to entertain the deal. And on top of that, you're not getting assets. We're throwing you what we don't want you or what we don't want from our side. So take Harrison Barnes, take Kevin Huerter, take Sasha, take a young player as well, and give us what we want in return. That's the only way this is going to happen. So to me, I mean, it's really just hammering home how much or how low, I guess, Zach LaVine's stock really is. Because if you've thrown 15 different offers, even if it is just to those 3 teams, we'll say each team got 5 different offers, which is insane. I just think that that's telling you that Zach LaVine, you're going to have to lower the asking price no matter what. And to me, if you're the Kings, that should be music to your ears. And if you're Chicago, I mean, there's no positive spin on that. You need to get rid of that contract, and it seems like absolutely nobody will take it. So you need to change your thought process if you really want to get this done. Yeah, and especially for this to now get out, that you've been told no 15 times, that's even worse for the Bulls, because now everyone will jump on it, and the Bulls are going to say, well, but that's because we weren't doing this and we weren't offering this, and now we are. But I think the Bulls, sometimes you just got to hold the L. Very similar to, the pop out came out yesterday with Kendrick Lamar, who brought out basically all of Los Angeles besides the game, and Drake is probably just sitting watching, holding the L. And just like Drake has to hold that L,
the Bulls got to hold that L. Hey, man, you made a rough decision. It's not working out. Just own it and move forward.
Yeah, no, and I mean, they might get to the point too. I mean, if it is only three teams or whatever, if let's say there's 5 teams that they've thrown it out to, at some point you're gonna tire them out too, to where Monty's gonna say, look, Chicago, how many times do I have to tell you I don't want this deal? Don't call back unless you're actually going to give us something that's worth our time. And you might end up ruining a potential deal because you're being hard-headed. And again, Chicago just needs to make their decision whether or not they want to get rid of LaVine, and they're going to have to bite the bullet on it. I mean, everybody had to do it at some point. The Wizards had to do it with Bradley Beal. And I think for whatever reason, Chicago is trying to hold on to hope because they are in that purgatory. They're trying to say, hold out hope that they can get pieces that can help them win, make them actually better, addition by subtraction with Zach LaVine. But I don't think they understand how much of a pariah that contract is. I don't think anybody wants to touch it. Nobody should. There should be no settling for this Zach LaVine deal. Chicago made this bed. They have to lie in it. And if you're going to be the one that takes over that mess, you got to make it worth your time. And there's no way you can make it worth your time without including Patrick Williams, but I really think that Alex Caruso is going to be the thing that gets this deal done. If you're the Kings, I'm willing to take a little bit of a loss if it means I'm getting Caruso back. And again, it feels like Zach LaVine has now been downgraded in terms of his value to the point where I feel like people are forgetting he is a really good player.
You know what's so funny to me, Chris, is that whenever Zach LaVine does get moved, because I do believe he will get moved because he has to, whoever he gets moved to, the narrative is going to change immediately because that team is going to now be a contender. Yep. If the Kings sign Zach LaVine tomorrow, right, or trade it for Zach LaVine, and even if it was just Zach LaVine, they would have the graphic. I don't know if Malik Monk leaves or not, but you have De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and Zach LaVine, and it would say new big 3.
Yes.
If he went to the Warriors, it would say the same thing.
Absolutely.
If he went to the Magic, they would say Magic have a weapon, 2-time All-Star. But right now, his value is in the Basuda. This is the most.
And what happens when you don't play too?
Yeah, this is the most confusing situation.
It's really weird.
And no matter, I cannot wait wherever he goes. People will say, "Wow, this team just got a lot better," even though nobody wanted him.
Yeah. He's a big talent upgrade, man. He really is. I mean, and we know how crazy of an athlete he is. And I know he just had foot surgery, but he definitely is going to keep at least a portion of that. And he's a dynamite scorer. Like, he is a 24 to 26 point per game scorer. He can light it up. And he's a real threat. If you throw him on this Kings team, that's another crazy scoring option. And he's also got some size to him. He's 6'7", and with his vertical leap, he can play a lot bigger than that. So, if LaVine is healthy, and that's a massive, massive, massive if, it is a big addition to any team that he goes to. But yeah, I mean, the financial side of it is definitely going to be a bit hamstringing, and that's why I think you can't just make a LaVine deal. You have to get either Caruso or have a second deal on top of it, because I do think if you're relying on Zach LaVine to play 60 to 70 plus games, he's probably not going to be able to do that. And so you're going to need to have somebody else there to kind of supplement that role when he's not playing.
Yeah, and obviously he had the foot surgery, so he's dealt with that. But, I don't necessarily know that he's always been a quote-unquote injured guy. I don't put him in the Kawhi category, but this starts to happen. So, and people have conversations about, all right, how much can he play? But honestly, Chris, besides this season where he played 25 games, last season he played 77, season before he played 67, season before he played 58, and then 60, then 63. And in 2015, 2016, he played all 82. So a couple seasons there. 2018, he played 24 games. And then last season, he played 25. But he should be able to get you 50 plus. He better when he's making $40 million.
I need more than half the game.
That's true, too. Sal, we see you. We will get to you right on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.